Sukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Vandvatitam Gagana Shatrisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Avaditam Trigunarahitam Sadguruntam Namami. Followed by 3 times Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Bow down to Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, our beloved Guru, requesting him to reveal the insight, the secrets of each of the Satsangs that we are going to discover today. Now let's enter into next slide. So all of you, please provide the listening. Once again, for the newcomers, let's emphasize on the power of Satsang. Swamiji gave this insight. He said, whenever a sincere seeker melts down in the deep trust and relaxes, the transmission of the lamp happens automatically. The transmission of the lamp between a realized being to an unrealized being happen in those moments. So whether you're sitting with him or not, it doesn't matter. That is the power of Satsang. So Satsang is beyond time and space. All you need is your listening and your trust and ability to relax so that he can do the job. He can do the job of the transmission. That's what you need to do. Just relax and listen with awareness. So this is what we are going to enter into the inquiry, because every truth he reveals is going to awaken the non-mechanical parts of our brain. Certain new synapses will be formed in the brain and we become more intelligent and wiser. All right, so let's enter into the insight number 41. Understand this compilation of the Satsang has 108. So we are already covered, 40. Today we're entering into the 41 insight. So he said, sit again and again with the master. Why? Why must we sit with the master? Why can't we just sit with ourselves, sit with somebody else? So he says, if sitting again and again with the master in deep trust makes you establish in the thoughtless space, because he's already in that thoughtless space. When you are sitting with him, you entangle with his neurons and you also fall into that thoughtless space. He said, please understand, sitting again and again with restful awareness and a deep feeling connection with the master establishes you in the thoughtless space, the cloudless sky. It means the vast inner space, just like how he's experiencing his vastness. You just fall in tune with the same thoughtless space as he is. You see, if you're not able to directly sit in the presence of the master, sit at least with that group where at least 7 people are having the experience of Kundalini awakening. So that's why in the center, in a satsang, let's say we're physically seated with at least 7 people whose Kundalini has been awakened by the Guru, by the master. Such a group will have the collective consciousness of the master's presence. Understand? Before the COVID, we used to have regular gathering at the center, because Swamiji would give certain program, whether it's living enlightenment process or Paramashivam process. So we gather in the center instead of watching from home, and then we all sit together, like spend the time together. And he said that when you are seated in such a group, where at least 7 people are already experiencing the Kundalini Shakti being awakened, understand you will actually experience the collective consciousness of the Masters present. He said, if 7 people are having the Kundalini experience and levitation in your Satsang center, be very clear that you have my presence completely. So that is the secrets he revealed. So if 7 people are experiencing, experiencing levitation, all the different energy related to the 7 chakras, as you know that along the spine we have 7 energy center called chakras. So we say when 7 people are experiencing that levitation, your 7 chakras will be active in that space. That means the tuning of the 7 chakras happen automatically. Next slide. So just like how a piece of cotton left in a bowl of honey gets completely soaked in honey after some time and almost become one with the honey. If you put yourself in the Master's presence again and again and soak yourself in the Master's presence, then automatically yourself, the consciousness, will become established in the Master's no-mind space. So he said, I'm going to give you a technique, a very simple technique to again and again bring yourself back to that space of restful awareness, even when you're not in my physical presence. See, of course, the best thing is to be physically living around the Master, right? That is the best option. But when you're not so fortunate or you're not ready to go and live with him yet, even more difficult now because he's now in Kailasa, Kailasa. Those days we used to travel to India in Bidadi and go and attend programs once a year at least and be in the physical presence of Swamiji. But now it's a lot more difficult. So only thing we can have is his virtual presence through online. He said that even when you're not with me physically, this is a technique. So listen carefully what we can do to again and again fall into the space of restful awareness instead of falling into the unconscious, the low consciousness. Next slide. So he said every night just before sleeping, listen or watch or listen to any of my discourses for at least 10 minutes. Okay? He said for at least 10 minutes, just pick up, go YouTube and just, okay, what satsang should I watch? Just search for something, whatever caught your eyes, just listen only for 10 minutes, okay? He said at least 10 minutes. And just listen with deep restful awareness in a relaxed way, like you're lying on the bed, just listening, and just fall asleep after listening to the 10 minutes of satsang. He said, you will see the whole night you're not experiencing the ordinary sleep. Your sleep become, like you're in Upanishad. You're actually in that restful awareness with him. So the whole night you will be in Upanishad in a highly elevated state of consciousness. And the next day you just feel Swamiji's presence as a subtle experience, like a fragrance, every moment of the day. Like everything you experience, like he's the undercurrent. You feel that he's there in some way as an undercurrent of everything you're doing every day. Okay, so that is the technique he gave. Next slide. So let us contemplate how you can sit with Master again and again. For those of you who tend to fall into the powerlessness space due to external factors, like you go to work, you go to the environment is that you're working or living or you're residing is actually filled with people with low consciousness, who are vibration is very low, and you get affected by them very easily. So he said you can actually do this by sitting with him every night, right? Watch the satsang and fall asleep after watching 10 minutes of satsang. So try this. Those of you who haven't done that, or you sometimes go and attend the Paramashivam program and listen for 1-2 hours. That is also counted, okay? Or you read a book. Okay, you read Swamiji's book. That is also another way to entangle with him. Because when you're reading his book, he's already infused with his energy. It's literally like he's talking to you. So reading his book or listening to his discourses are also recommended, so that when you fall asleep, your whole inner space will be filled with that energy, and then you will realize that you are not actually sleeping like ordinary unconscious sleep, the deep sleep, but you're aware. You're like kind of your body's sleeping, but you're aware. What Swamiji talked about, the Turiya state where there's no thought, but you are aware. Understand? That is the meditative state that we all try to get in. So when you are in, when you sit with the master again and again every night, this is how you fall asleep in the awake state. Basically, it's the Turiya state, the fourth state of the consciousness. Got it? So all of you can try and come back, tell me next week. See, do you have a extraordinary experience when you try this technique given by the Swamiji? Okay? So now, let's enter into the insight number 42. So this is the very fascinating insight. Okay, all of you, please listen. The secret to winning any war. This is the secret all enlightened master, all enlightened beings, incarnation use when they are in the body on planet Earth waging war. So listen very carefully. He reveals this insight. Once you know this insight, be very clear, you can win any war on planet Earth. Okay, so let's enter into this inquiry. What is this? What? Secret to winning any war? That's so cool. So he said, whenever you carry a fear about somebody, if you feel they may attack you or do something harmful to you or stab your back, like doing something bad to you, try this technique. Let's say you suspect that you offended one colleague and you think that the colleague is going to badmouth you and do something bad and create some kind of tension in the working environment. So try this technique. Just sit down and say these words, okay? Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo, okay? Means I give refuge to the whole world. In the actual translation of this Sanskrit word is, and no being needs to be afraid of me. Nobody should be afraid of me, okay? I'm not here to attack anyone or anybody. So this is the literal meaning that I give refuge to the whole world. Don't be afraid of me. I'm not here to attack anybody. So that is what Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. You may think, when somebody is attacking me, I'm the one who's going to be afraid. Why does he need this reassurance? Why does he needs the assurance that I'm not going to attack you? He should be the one, feeling like, I have to protect myself. So he said, no, understand. This is a very, very interesting spiritual insight in the context of consciousness. So listen carefully. He said, understand, the people who is attacking you is already in fear of you. See, attack is a form of violence, whether it's verbal abuse or physical abuse, whatever is the abuse. Be very clear. All kinds of violence or attack comes from fear. That means this person is scared of you. He's carrying that enmity towards you because he has a memory that you hurt him in the past. That means you may have done something and the person feel that you already did some harmful thing to him, or something, you say something that hurt him. Or he's carrying some insecurity that you will be a threat to him in the future. So it's all fear-based. It's all fear-based from some past or he thinks that in the future you're going to hurt him. That comes with a certain insecurity. Okay, so he needs to be healed. That person needs to be healed from this incompletion that he's carrying towards you. So this declaration, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo, is to heal the person so that he can drop that fear or insecurity he's carrying with you. Okay, next slide. So send a strong wave of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo to that person. Whoever is that person that you have, visualize that person, in your inner space, and say this word to that person, and visualize every DNA in your body sending this message. See, we have 12 strands of DNA. Every human being has 12 strands of DNA. But ordinary human beings only have maybe 1-2 strands awakened. The remaining 10 are dormant, remains dormant until you awaken it through whether it's spiritual processes or initiation by guru. Okay, so visualize every pore in the body, on the skin, being used as a transmitter for this message. That means, can you imagine our skin has trillions of pores, and just sending this vibration of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo to that person. And then sit very calmly and with this thought, this intention. Okay? And when you send these waves of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo with Abhaya, Abhaya means blessing, right? You see a lot of God and deities, they do this. You know, this is blessing, Abhaya Mudra. You will see so much of healing happens in you, not just only that person, but in you also. If you need to defend yourself, you will do the minimum but right actions. Okay, so that is the technique. Next slide. So when you are agitated, or you're also in fear, agitation, fear, all that come from the same smell. Okay, source. You do not know what point to touch. So when you're completely sending the Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo, you will experience such a coolness, like rather than agitation, the heat inside. You feel coolness. You'll be like a lubricated cool tool, which will cut things in the proper place and in the proper way. Say, Swamiji give an analogy. He say, understand, a diamond started tool without lubrication can do the job of cutting only in a haphazard way or a rough way, not polished way, not perfectly. So however, the same diamond started tool with the lubrication of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo will cut the negativity into pieces in the right place and the right way without it getting agitated or heated up. So that is the lubrication that we are doing to make things happen better. Even as a war strategy, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo is an ultimate strategy because it goes on lubricating the diamond tool, whatever that you need to do, like, such lubrication will make things become better. The outcome will be better. Next slide. Okay. So this lubrication of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo does 2 jobs. How? First, it reduces the anger and enmity the enemy carries towards you. Okay, the anger, enmity, the incompletion the enemy is carrying towards you will tremendously be reduced. So half of your job is done. When the person do not feel so angry with you anymore, it tantamount that half of the job is done. Second, if there is a little bit of anger remaining still in the enemy, but the person is not completely dropped the anger yet, he's still carrying a little bit of anger, it knows exactly where to hit, and you will have the stability to hit for as long as required. So that energy, the intelligence will do its job of resolving the remaining anger. They are still maybe in the space of the enemy. He said, I tell you, in all possible wars, the greatest strategy is this only, Abhayam Sarvabhutevyo. This is the exact strategy adopted by Sri Krishna in Kurukshetra, in the Bhagavad Gita. This is the exact strategy adopted by another master, Sri Ramachandra, in Lanka when he was fighting. And this is also the exact strategy all incarnations have adopted, all enlightened masters in avatars have adopted and are adopting and will be adopting in the future in all their fights, in all the wars they wage. Okay? So which means what? When you are able to create a space to lubricate and reduce the enmity, it means complete the enemy from the space of incompletion by your compassion, by your awareness. Understand the power of Abhayam Sarvabhutevyo, this blessing. The moment you feel it and radiate through your every pore of the skin that you radiate, transmitting to the enemy, the anger, the vengeance the enemy carries towards you will just simply disappear. You don't even have to take out any weapon. That's why Swamiji said in Kailasa, there's no police, there's no army, there's no need. Do you understand? Understand now? Because when he said, oh, when I set up Kailasa, I will not need some kind of security defense mechanism that I need to, build an army or some kind of defense mechanism. Like in every country, they will have to spend billions of dollars just to maintain that. So understand from the enlightened consciousness, he's able to go to the enemy's inner space to make the fellow disappear with the anger and vengeance. So the person will not even want to, wage the war anymore. Understand? So if he is really, really adamant, still not interested in letting go, still very, very hardcore, like so hardcore, for instance, he said he's trying to retain a little bit of it. Say, don't worry. Somebody say, don't even worry about that. Your tool is now lubricated by that declaration of Abhayam Sarvabhutevyo. He said it knows where to hit and it can sustain without getting heated, without getting boiled. Okay, next slide. So he says, see, the tool without lubrication gets heated up and gets broken, because once heat is in, normally the friction will be created, and of course it will break down some parts, right, into pieces. So the purpose is lost when it's broken. It doesn't cut anymore. So the tool which is lubricated knows how to cut, sustains, and finishes the job beautifully. So it finishes the enemy who is not ready to let go of the enmity. So this is the power of this strategy. This is the ultimate strategy for winning any war. He said, let your DNA structure be established in this one truth. I am not an enemy to anybody. I have no enemy. I have no anger. I have no enmity. I'm established in ahimsa, non-violence. I give refuge to the whole world. Abhayam Sarvabhutevyo. So this is the declaration that you can use when you want to win the war against someone, okay? But do it from the consciousness level. So when you are established in Abhayam Sarvabhutevyo and play the whole drama, wage the war, just like how Krishna waged the war of Kurukshetra. And of course he won the war, right? You don't need any weapon or army. You don't even need a weapon or army to even wage the war. You just sit there and just give instruction. You say, I tell you, this is the greatest secret of winning in war and in life. You say not only just in war, but in life as well. In life, you will do this. Please be very clear. You will have that so-called knowledge to win any war, any situation in your life. Cool? Sounds like a cool thing? Give me a thumbs up. Yes. Next slide. So, you can now identify someone who has enmity towards you. We're going to apply this technique. How about that? Shall we? You first identify, we'll do it towards the end of the meditation. Okay, towards the end we have a meditation, right? So now, just identify, take a few moments to identify. Maybe you have a whole list. Okay, you can write down, okay, XYZ, colleague XYZ, my mother-in-law, I don't know. Please list down the names now. Just take a few minutes just to list down the people whom you want to reduce the person's anger towards you, or reduce the enmity this person is carrying towards you. Just write down the names now. Create a list. Can? We'll do the technique later on. But first of all, just sit for 1-2 minutes to think, who do you want to send this blessing to help this person complete with the enmity that he or she is carrying towards you. Like someone who doesn't want to talk to you, there's someone who is irritated by you, who someone's trying to avoid you. These people, and you do not know, you may have offended them in some way, or the person feel hurt by you, which you may not be able to have a chance to complete with that person. Okay, just write it down. Can? Must be the person still in the body. Don't write the person already gone. That one you do your self-completion can already. This one is for a person who is still alive and is still not able to let go of the anger or enmity towards you. Okay? Alright, finish writing? All of you, got on this? Inside your heart, oh, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so. Maybe even your husband. Your spouse. Okay, great. Next slide. Okay, so now we'll enter into the next insight, 43. Okay, he said, look into your source. This is the shortest insight that Swamiji revealed, but it's very profound. Okay, so we'll spend some time to discuss about this. He said, understand, because I've realized I'm the source, I'm Paramashiva, I go on provoking you to look into your source. Recently Swamiji has given the Navatattva, the 9 forms of Paramashiva during the Navaratri that's just passed last week. So he said that when you listen to his discourse, he's telling you again and again, look inside, you are the source, you're Paramashiva, right? So if you look into your source, you'll know your source and my source is one and the same, because he decided to become many to enjoy himself. So everyone and everything is also part of the source. Correct? So please understand, he said, when I say realize myself, I mean you will realize that yourself and myself are one and the same. It means we're all connected, we're all from the same consciousness. Okay? So that is what he's trying to imply. He said, look into your source, look into your consciousness. That should be, don't look at the skin color, your mind and body, all these are transient. They are ephemeral. They are just, in the outer layer existence. But when you go deeper, 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 deeper to the inner core of you as consciousness, the nirvanic layer, you realize that we're all meet in the same spot. There's no difference between you and me. We're all in the same space. Okay, next slide. Now, he said, I promote Krishna, I promote Rama, I promote Shiva, I even promote Buddha, all the teaching of great enlightened masters who had already left the body. He said, because I have realized myself and their selves are one and the same consciousness. Understand, whether it's Buddha, whether it's Rama, whether it's Krishna, whether it's Devi, whoever is, in that same, who have realized that they are the same source, the same consciousness. He said, I experience it also. He said, I've experienced them in my consciousness and myself in their consciousness. So naturally, I promote the consciousness in which Krishna, Buddha, and Shiva radiate. Understand? Because deep into the source is the same. He said, in the beginning, the experience of God can happen only with God. Then your very being becomes God. That means once you realize you become the source, you start radiating the same divinity and the grace of the source and start transmitting the experience to others. That's why the moment you start experiencing the depth of you, what happens is that you have the ability to transmit the same thing to the others, to another person or the groups. So when that energy gets awakened, it reaches the other person and the expansion of consciousness starts happening in them as well. Understand? That's why Swamiji said that when you have experienced the expansion, the realization, start enriching others through your presence, through your consciousness, because you will be able to transmit that experience to them as well. Because when you have that shift, the cognitive shift, in terms of experiencing yourself as a source, the consciousness, that shift can be transmitted to others when you start sharing, when you start enriching. Okay? That's why Swamiji, when you start teaching as well, because you cannot teach without experiencing, right? So, like in the e-Gurukul where I teach every weekend, we experience it ourselves, the shift ourselves, then we start sharing with the children as well. Your ability to bring them to the depth of the teaching, or Swamiji is trying to make us experience. When you experience it yourself, you will see that your transmission, your ability to hold the space for the kid to also experience the same thing, get realized as well. This is also my personal experience. When I've experienced it myself, when I create a space in the teaching, in the class, they also experience the same thing as what I've experienced, because I'm able to transmit the experience to others because Swamiji has given me this experience. Understand? So that is a very fascinating thing, which is what Swamiji said, look into your source. When you experience your source, yourself as a consciousness. See, he said in the beginning, the experience of God can happen only with God, which means what? It can only happen when you are initiated by enlightened master who has experienced God consciousness. You cannot go to someone who is still what Swamiji called tractor guru, who just speak, but never have any experience, right? So you go there and thinking that they will give you the experience, but they have maybe very charismatic in the way they speak, or they they're able to talk very well, but no experience, not centered on the scriptures, for instance. And then you just go listen and say, wow, you're very fascinated. But that intellectual brain candy, I call that brain candy. You're like, wow. But the experience is not there. When you sit there with the person, and after that, you just you forget. You only remain at the intellectual level, the cerebral level, but not in the consciousness level. Understand? That is the difference between an enlightened being doing the transmission versus a non-enlightened being. Got it? Yes? So he said, contemplate into your source and experience everything in, everyone and everything is a part of you. It means everyone and everything is a part of you. Because you are the source. See, normally we see the division, the separation. You're you, you're me. I'm this body, you're this body. I'm this race, you're this race. We see the skin color. We see the division of, because of the differences, which is very obvious, correct? And if someone doesn't agree with you, or even more division, right? You don't agree with me, then you're not thinking like me. Okay, so then the fight goes on, right? So, but he said, when you are able to see the person in front of you who is, arguing with you as also the same source as you, then the way how you respond will be very different. Okay? The way how you cognize and interpret will be very different. And so is your decision will be very different, because you will not be making, decision that create more violence or enmity between both of you, or you will be acting out of the space of completion, because we're all one and the same in the same space. You will not do any harm to the other person, because by doing harm to the other person, you're also doing harm to yourself, because we're all one and the same, right? It's like, why would you hurt the other finger if you know the other finger is part of you? Correct? Huh? It's just like, your sibling is part of you. Why would you go and have a fight with a sibling? So that is the whole point. Okay. So this is the thing he wants us to contemplate. When you see everything and everyone as part of you, then how you operate, in the reality will be very different. Next slide. So we now enter into the last insight today, insight number 44. He said, why laws are made, right? Everywhere you go, we have this law, we have that laws. If you go to another place, the more and more developed a nation, the more and more laws there are. Okay? So, and more complicated. So he said, why are laws made? He said, let us understand why laws are made in the society. So he said, when more than one people start living on planet Earth, the logic of when you can have, why not me, started happening in human beings. It's like, oh, you can have this, why can't I have it too? So the system law got created. How? He said, when human beings first started living together, they understood the comfort and the positive points that living together brings, right? Okay, live together, there are certain things we enjoy, the benefit, right? So he said it brought protection from other animals, like, in the animal kingdom, right? Let's say in the, during Stone Age time, where these Stone Age men, they're living in the jungle, and then they are constantly getting attacked by other animals or other tribes. Even natural calamities, right? Whether it's some kind of volcanic eruptions or some kind of flood. So all this kind of protection starts happening when we live together, right? Thousands of other things. He said life become more sophisticated, luxurious, and wealthy, rich and less hard, right? Become more prosperity and more stability. So human beings realize that living together brings lots of good things. Correct? That's why we live in a community. Next slide. So then the problem of when you can have it, why not me, came up. To come up with an understanding, the system of law was created. This is the basic reason why laws are needed. Okay, he said many things then started evolving around it. Responsibility of a person, duty of a person, freedom given to a person, the powers given to a person, and the restriction that on that person. Punishment if, let's say, the person breaks the law and breaks the responsibility or restriction or misabuse of powers, right? So all that start come all the different additional laws happen once all this start to put in place. That means when people start living in a community in a way to not only protect but create certain balance in the system so that there is minimum abuse. People take responsibility. Understand? Imagine there's no law. People would just throw the things everywhere in the litter everywhere on the street. And if, let's say, there's no protection for women, and men would just do all kinds of abuse to the wife and the children. So all these are needed when to put in place when people are living together. Okay, so basically when human beings started living together, the understanding they created among themselves to live safely and happily evolved into laws, right? Like we know certain laws protect us and certain laws will protect the children, etc., etc. So the laws like you will not kill me, so I will not kill you as well. Let us live let us both live, let us coexist. So that is the whole basis of the law. This is an understanding. So first it is an understanding, then it is evolved into a law. So the understanding is, okay, since as a human, I have right, you also have the same right. So you can have it, I also can have it. But in order to enjoy that benefit, let's make sure that you don't kill me, I don't kill you, and let's all coexist together. So that start forming as the core ideology on living together, and then other additional laws to protect in event you missed this, in event you didn't take responsibility, in event you abuse, then comes with a slew of other laws to reinforce misconduct or missing the understanding. You understand? The fundamental understanding is to coexist together in a non-violent way. But in event someone offended, someone abused, or someone misused, whatever may be, then the laws comes to protect one party against the other party. Okay? This is the way how laws are made in a society. Okay, so now let's enter into the meditation. So with this 4 insight, you're going to do this abhayam savabhutati, because I think if you understand, because all these 4 insights operate from the same space of coexistence, non-violence, blessings, and also basically helping you to understand from that source everyone is connected to you. Okay, so now we are going to meditate for a few minutes, and you can actually send the blessing you have to the enemy, the list of so-called enemy that you identified earlier. Okay? So all of you got that list already? You want to go and get your IBAN? Get your IBAN? I give you a few minutes, a minute to go and get your IBAN. Please go and get your IBAN so that you can go very deep into this insight. So please put on the IBAN. Rosita, can you take a screenshot? Sopa is here. You missed her. But that doesn't matter. Let me just repeat what we're going to do in the next few minutes. Basically, in today's session, we talk about a few things, right? A few insight. The first insight being, again and again, sit with the master. Then the second insight we talk about is the secrets to winning any war, right? By giving the blessing, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. So when you're going to give the blessing to whoever that you're going to bless, your enemies, people who are incomplete with you, people who are angry with you, you can give the blessing, visualize the person and do this Abhaya Mudra, okay? So all of you will do that later on when I guide you. And then understand that you are the source, you are consciousness, and the other person who you're blessing is also this one and the same. So from that same space, you're blessing the person so that the person realizes that he and you are one and the same. So there's no need to carry this enmity. Okay? And then, of course, this is what we're trying to do in this meditation. Okay? So before that, we have asked everybody to list down a list of people where you want to send this blessing of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo to reduce the enmity. Okay? So now sit with the back straight. Put on the IBAN. So align the whole back by sitting with the back straight. Understand? When you keep your spine upright, the energy flows to all the chakras. So don't slouch. Just keep the whole back straight so that you feel weightless. In that weightlessness, just allow yourself to breathe deeply and slowly. Connect with the prana shakti, the life force within you, the vital energy which sustains you. That prana shakti is what is sustaining you. Without that, you are gone. Okay, so connect with the life force, the energy which is in a form of your breathing. Take a few moments to breathe so that you are in the space of restful awareness. So in that restful awareness, visualize the people who carries the enmity towards you. Bring them up one by one in your inner space. That who you feel they are not complete with you, they're angry with you, they're fed up with you, they feel that you hurt them, or they're afraid that in your future you may hurt them. Bring these people up from your exercise you did earlier on. Who are these people? So remember them one by one. Visualize them one by one. Then send a strong wave of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. So raise your right palm in the blessing mudra. Just inside your heart, say these words, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. Okay? To each the person you have, let's say you only have one person, okay, say to that person, but if you have listed at least 5 persons, one by one, say that to the 5 that you have listed earlier on. Okay? Just first declare your blessing of Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo to the people whom you feel they carried enmity towards you. Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. Just send the intense blessing, a strong wave of blessing to all of them, to the person whom you think carries this incompletion of anger, fear towards you. Then visualize every DNA in your body, this 12 strand of DNA, sending this same message intensely to these people whom you identify. Visualize every pore of your skin, how your skin is filled with numerous pores, trillions of pores. Every pore in your body being used as a transmitter, like a energy transmitter of this message to that person, to the people whom you want to bless, to the person you want to be healed. Visualize that intensely and sit very calmly with this thought of sending the healing blessing to the people you identify. Please understand, when you do this blessing, the person is not the only person getting healed. You also get healed. Let your DNA structure be established in one truth, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo, which is, I'm not an enemy to anyone and anybody. I have no enemies. I have no anger. I have no enmity. I'm established in ahimsa, non-violence, as the truth. And I give refuge to the world, to the entire world. Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. Sit with this truth and radiate intense Kundalini Shakti by blessing the people whom you want to heal. Let me play the Mahavakya for a few minutes.
take my love and respects. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Allow the Kundalini energy to be awakened and send more intense healing energy from every pore of your skin to the people who you wants to heal from the anger and enmity towards you.
Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashivam. Nithyananda 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 Paramashivam. Nithyan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Slowly, very slowly open your eyes. Can you look at the eye bend up? So how was it? How was the experience? You want to share this converting this negativity, powerlessness into powerfulness of winning any war in life? The whole space of shifting the other person, the enemy, into completion through this one powerful strategy called Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. Anyone want to share? How do you feel?
Besides all the enemies that I think of, and the most important one would be myself.
Yeah. If you raise yourself by yourself, you will never be your own enemy. You'll be only your best friend. Yes. How was it? How was the experience? Anyone want to share here?
I was doing my doctor who's got lots of implications with me, but it was a bit difficult to bless her because it's always like from the parent, you know everything, so you want to give the advice. But I tried it a few times, and somehow it just got easier towards the end. Just tried to bless her and say that Swamiji's
That's great. See, initially you had to drop all the ideas of conditioning you're carrying towards that person, whether parent-child relationship or whether it's colleague relationship, anything. You have to drop that and remember you are from that source. Okay, you're blessing that person from the source of consciousness, not this body-mind. Understand? This is the way how you become big. You become that source. And from that space, you're blessing that person. So that you bring completion to that person and drop the enmity towards you. That is the technique that all incarnation use, including Krishna, so it is a foolproof strategy to dissolve enmity to, winning the war, winning in life. So I hope you had a great experience today in terms of today's session. And if you feel that you're still not able to share, you can share in the group, later on once you are able to digest what is happening.
I can share. Is it possible? Yeah. So actually, interestingly, I think tonight is like part 2 for me because firstly, just now I think it was a very interesting process, and it felt very liberating. And somehow when the Mahavakya came on, I was like, wow, tears suddenly just rolled. I think part 1 was actually with my last it was over the weekend on a Saturday. So we actually did an early birthday celebration for me. And the interesting part was I sensed that there was a girl that she had some agitation towards me. Then interestingly, after that, she actually texted me that to compete with me and say that, hey, she felt that it was not very nice of her, because she felt like, because I asked her, so where did this agitation come from? So she said that she felt like we had differing views, and she felt like whatever, like sometimes when she gives me advice, then I don't really heed her advice. But actually, because, like, for example, she would say that, I'm nursing this cough, and then she said, why don't you go to eat medicine, eat Western medicine, and then do acupuncture. But I mean, honestly, we've gone past that, right? So, but I didn't want to like, like tell her, oh, are you reading all that? Because it will start a whole debate. So I mean, I'm just giving an example lah. So I didn't follow her advice. So I think she kind of felt like, hey, how come I give you advice and you don't listen? So yeah, so things like that. So I guess, yeah, but she said something. She said like, oh yeah, but I realized that even though we have differing views, but I feel that I should still respect you and respect your views. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I do know that I have a completion with her lah.
That's awesome. That clears that, that so-called, the relationship, the whole misunderstanding of that each both of you are carrying on each other. So that's great. So see, Swamiji's grace, he bless all of us to be complete. For me, you know what? Who came to my inner space? I remember, okay, I better do Abel Sabavute to my ex-husband. So I bless him. Okay, now you have your own life. I bless you now. I liberate you. So don't carry any more enmity towards me. So that was what I did. Right. Yeah. So with that, I like to thank all of you who managed to join me in today's session. Hey, we finished the last few slides. Sorry. Is there a last few slides? Is there anything else? Rosita? So you know that the new season is going to start. Today actually is the last day of this season of Paramashivam, and the new season starts on the 30th of October, okay, which is one day before Diwali. So just welcome all of you. If you are going to take time to attend the next season 1, 2, 3, next level 1, 2, 3 in the new season. Okay, so next slide. So next week we will continue to have lesson number 12 on the 30th of October. So do enrich more people to join this session, because each session and each satsang comes with sometimes certain technique or certain contemplation. So it's good to internalize them so it becomes part of your cognition, part of your biomemory. Okay? So with that, I'm going to close the session. So close your eyes. Let's join the palms together in deep gratitude to Swamiji, our beloved Guru, for blessing us with this beautiful insight from the discourses, the 8 satsangs. Let's chant the Purna mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Saubam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Partha Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, Nithyanandam. We can stop.